The top stories this week are shakeup for the 49ers, Johnson's in trouble again, and Kobe is injured.
Watch out, ESPN. This is the Rider Sports Corner.
Welcome to this week's edition of the Rider Sports Corner. I'm Patty Wittenberg, filling in for Olivia Hoff.
And I'm Tom Malachi. Jose Canseco is back in the news. No, it's not a new tell-all book. The former Major League Baseball star, who's authored several books accusing both current and former baseball players of using steroids, now regrets naming those stars in his books. In an A&E documentary about Canseco, the slugger said that he wanted revenge on the MLB for forcing him out of the game. By naming other athletes in books like Juiced, Canseco claimed that he wanted to prove he was telling the truth. He now says he would like to apologize to all the athletes he's thrown under the bus in his bid for revenge.
There's been a shakeup over in San Francisco. The 49ers fired head coach Mike Nolan last week following a tough loss against the New York Giants. The 49-year-old Nolan was 18-37 as coach of the 49ers and was known for wearing a suit and tie on the sideline for the team's home games. Assistant head coach Mike Singletary will be the interim head coach until a new head coach is brought in. The 49ers are said to be looking at USC's coach Pete Carroll as a possible replacement.
Well, during his debut of head coach, Singletary's 49ers lost to the Seattle Seahawks, but that wasn't the real story. During the game, San Francisco tight end Vernon Davis was flagged for a personal foul after slapping a defender's head after a tackle. Singletary immediately pulled Davis from the game, and then after giving the volatile tight end an earful, sent him back to the showers. At his press conference after the game, Coach Singletary explained his disciplinary actions.
We cannot make decisions that cost the team and then come off the sideline and it's nonchalant. No. You know what? This is how I believe, okay? I'm from the old school. I believe this. I would rather play with 10 people and just get penalized all the way until we got to do something else, rather than play with 11 when I know that right now that person is not sold out to be a part of this team.
Coach Singletary also pulled quarterback J.T. O'Sullivan from the game after throwing his second interception of the game. No comment was made by the coach on whether or not Davis or O'Sullivan will still have their starting jobs after the bye week.
The NFL isn't the only place seeing some major shakeups this week. The NBA had their own share of news as well. The Los Angeles Lakers may have a few problems after Kobe Bryant suffered a knee injury during an exhibition game against the Charlotte Bobcats. The NBA MVP was injured after jumping for a rebound in the first half of the game. The team's trainer said that Bryant hyperextended his knee. Coach Phil Jackson said, "We'll see what it's like Wednesday, and then we'll go from there." From the NBA back to Rider Sports, the women's basketball team is gearing up for a big season. Garrett Williams has a story.
Coach Milligan, who is entering her second season as the women's head coach, says she and her staff learned a lot last year and will only benefit the team.
I think that what you're going to see is a group of young ladies that work very hard every day, a group of young ladies that are determined to change this program, are determined to continue what we started last year. We took some good steps for the program last year, but we do realize how many more steps we have to take and the enormous amount of hard work that it's going to take to reach the high goals that we've set for ourselves. But I think if the fans come out and we get this continued support that we've had, I think they're going to be very surprised and happy with what they see. Well, I think this year the biggest thing we've learned is how to compete. We've learned to put higher expectations on ourselves. Our players have learned a very, very strong work ethic and bringing that to the court every single day. And I think that we're going to see some more positive results because of that this season.
With the games against Siena last season being very competitive, ESPNU will be televising the contest on January 9th.
It's exciting to be able to play in front of a national audience and to be able to get the Rider University name out there and showcase our women's basketball program and these hardworking young ladies is something that we really enjoy. You know, as far as building a recruiting base and building the respect for your program, I think in the tri-state area, it's important to be able to do that. We have a lot of girls on our team from the Pennsylvania, New Jersey area. They get to play in front of their home fans, even on the road, which we like. And to be able to play the New Jersey schools is something that I would like to continue to do.
This season will feature 4 freshmen on the roster, and Coach Milligan has high expectations for all of them.
You know, we have a very good freshman class. We've brought in some players that have some things that maybe we didn't have already. Sarah Homans, a 6'3" freshman who brings us obviously legitimate size right away. Alyssa Parsons is a true point guard for us. And Allie Heller and Lauren Gregg are two guards that just make us deeper.
For the Rider Sports Corner, this has been Garrett Williams.
It seems a lot of NFL players just can't stay out of the news lately. Running back Larry Johnson of the Kansas City Chiefs has been charged for spitting a drink in a woman's face at a nightclub. The charge against Johnson is being looked into by the police after the running back told a woman that he was going to kill her boyfriend. After that statement, Johnson spit a drink in her face following the comment. According to the police report, Johnson had tried to buy the woman, Ashley Stewart, a drink at the same nightclub a week before. This is the 4th time in 5 years that Johnson is being investigated for an assault against a woman. NFL spokesperson Greg Aiello declined comment on the incident. Riders women's soccer team went up against Canisius this past week. Our own Alex Carini has the story.
On Friday, the Lady Broncs took on Canisius in what proved to be a disappointing game for Rider. The Broncs played strong during the first half, but ultimately were defeated 4-1 after a long effort during the MAC game. This brings the Lady Broncs' current record to 2-11 for the regular season and 1-4 in the MAC. But the game wasn't a total loss. The Broncs showed their skill by keeping up against their opponent during the first half. Rider tied the game 1-1 with 8:33 left in the first half on a header by freshman Jordan Bunch. Though still a freshman, Bunch is a veteran of 16 games.
I saw Erin going down the sideline, and I was wide open outside, and as soon as she kicked the ball, I saw the opportunity to rush in the middle, and there was defenders there, but if I tacked the ball and headed it, and it went in.
Canisius, who is 5-2 in the MAC, took on a 2-1 lead in the 13th minute of the second half. However, Rider sophomore goalkeeper Alex Post made them work for their goals, making 8 saves throughout the game. Head coach Drayson Hounsom was quoted as saying, "I thought we gave it a good effort. If we remove the mistakes, I think we could have won this game." His team shared the same remarks.
They never had a play where it was all them. Like, we basically, every single goal they had, we kind of let them have it. I think if we just get rid of those mistakes, we'd be a good team, and if we keep the ball to our feet and keep possession of the ball, then we'll go far.
The women's soccer team will be wrapping up their season soon, but they still have high hopes for the MAC. This has been Alex Carini for the Rider Sports Corner.
Brett Favre has been called many things, from the Iron Man of football to the Ageless Wonder. But is he a Benedict Arnold? FoxSports.com contributor Jay Glazer reported that Favre had called and given then Lions GM Matt Millen game advice against Favre's former team, the Green Bay Packers. Favre, who didn't exactly leave on good terms over the offseason, said in a Jets news conference that he didn't give any game advice, that Matt Millen called him, and that their conversation was mostly about hunting. Favre also declined having called Tony Romo to give him advice about playing with a broken finger. The women's volleyball team met with Manhattan this past week at Alumni Gym. Rob Haberman reports.
The Rider Broncs faced off against Manhattan College this Saturday in a MAC matchup that ultimately resulted in a loss. We spoke with Rider head coach Emily Alquist after the tough loss, who explained why Rider came up short.
Yeah, they're a very good team. They're big. They block very well. What we did not do well today is utilize all of our shots. We are normally much smarter than that playing, but we just do the same thing over and over.
Sophomore Amanda Piccolini and junior Tara Hansen both played extremely well in the match, with a combined total of 20 digs and 25 assists. Both proved to be leaders on the court during extreme pressure.
Amanda's running a great game. She's really seeing the blockers, getting hitters one-on-one, playing defense, serving tough, and running the floor. And she has developed into a wonderful setter. Tara stepped in today and did a fantastic job. She just hustles for every single ball, so she does give us that defensive energy.
Unfortunately, Piccolini and Hansen's efforts cannot withstand the Jaspers' attacks, led by Sharita Stokes and Rita Welsh. The Broncs lost in 3 straight sets of 25-23, 25-21, and again in 25-21. Rider has not won against Manhattan since 2004 and have been defeated by the Jaspers 15 out of 19 games. Rider is still thinking positively, with their next matchups against Siena on Saturday and to face Manhattan for the second time this season on Sunday.
Looking forward to it. We always play well up at Siena. It's a fun gym to play in. Also looking forward to playing Manhattan again, just so hopefully we can play better. I don't think anything they did. I think things we need to work on.
With 3 straight losses, the Lady Broncs are still staying hopeful to turn around the slump and get back on the winning trail. For Rider Sports Corner, I'm Rob Haberman.
It's an exciting time for Philadelphia as the Phillies are back in the World Series. Patty Wittenberg has the story.
After a 15-year drought, the Phillies are finally in the World Series again. I came to Cranberries to see what the students have to say.
It's been, 15 years since they've been in the playoffs, so I'm very happy for them.
Being like a non-sports fan from the South and now coming up north, it's just really inspired me to want to get involved and then find out more about the Phillies.
I'm very excited.
I'm psyched that they're in the series. Can't wait to start watching.
It's been a while since they've been there, and can't wait to watch the games tonight.
And it has been a while. 15 years since they were last in a World Series and 28 years since they won a title. Dr. Moore, a professor in the communications department here at Rider, is not only a huge fan, but a former Phillies employee.
I was a big Phillies fan growing up and used to listen to all the games on the radio and watch them on television. And in college, I was a communications major, so I tried to put my love of sports with broadcasting together. And I worked for the Phillies for a few years, doing their radio production, doing their pregame and postgame production and engineering work.
Just like any other fan, Dr. Moore is excited to see his favorite team compete for the world title.
Very excited. I just wound up getting some tickets for Game 3, which cost me a lot of money. So in a way of how much I'm willing to spend is kind of a direct correlation to the fan interest I have.
According to the Philadelphia Inquirer, the city of brotherly love can expect to earn as much as $20 million in extra revenue from this World Series. With the economy the way that it is, Philadelphia could use the boost. Dr. Moore explains.
Winning really brings people out. They want to spend. They're happy. Just from an economic standpoint, you're going to be happy. If people are happy, they're going to spend more. They're going to be out more. So from just an economic standpoint, we want happy consumers. If we look at sports consumers as a separate group, they're going to be happy if their team wins. So therefore, you're going to expect some spending. Any consumer that's happy is going to spend more. A happy sports consumer probably might spend a little bit more.
Fans agree. This is a great opportunity for their beloved team.
Oh my God, it's great. It's finally they're really close.
Now that the Phillies are going, I think it's going to reinvigorate sports in Philly entirely. Hopefully the Eagles get to go to the Super Bowl. I'm excited.
It would be great for the city. It would be great for the area and the whole idea that Philadelphia has now won a championship since 1983. It's due, so the people are going to really be happy and expect a long celebration.
I haven't brought home a championship in 28 years, so can't be better. I'm ready for the parade.
Win or lose, Philadelphia has already made history either way. For the Rider Sports Corner, this has been Patty Wittenberg.
Every week, Mike and Mark debate hot topics in the sports world. Guys, what do you have for us this week?
Thanks, Tom. Let's see what Ryder wants to know this week. For the World Series, I'm going to have to say the Phillies. I think they have a great pitching staff. They got a good defense. As long as their hitting stays solid, I definitely think they can do it.
Okay, well, I'm obviously going to go with the Tampa Bay Rays then. I think they're still on that emotional high, and I think they have a great chance of winning this series.
All right, but emotional high can only carry you so far. I mean, yes, the Phillies haven't been here in a while, but still, I think they have that experience level where that as long as they carry the hitting, as long as they can bring the hitting they had in the regular season, they'll be fine.
But that's the same thing with the New York Giants. They carried that emotional high all the way to the Super Bowl, and they won. And they were heavy, heavy underdogs to win, but they did it. And I think Tampa Bay, they have a lot of young talent, and it's going to carry them through the series. But I do think it's going to be a 7-game series.
I definitely agree with you. I think it's going to be a 7-game series, but I definitely think the offense the Phillies have, if they're able to use it and every player can step up to their potential, I definitely think the Phillies can carry it through.
I don't see that happening. I think they're going to end up breaking down late in the series.
No, I don't think so.
I think so.
We'll see what happens.
Next coach to be fired in the NFL, I'm definitely going to go with Wade Phillips. I really think he's just a puppet under Jerry Jones, and I don't think he's going to last much longer.
I'm actually going to have to go with Marvin Lewis of the Bengals. I think the Bengals look atrocious this year, as I've said before, and there's just no going up from here.
Well, I don't think there's anywhere for Wade Phillips to go now. I mean, Jerry Jones pretty much is holding that spot for Jason Garrett to come in, and I think you can agree with me on that. They lost 3 of the last 4.
But do the Cowboys have wins?
Barely.
Barely, but do they have wins?
It's only because of Tony Romo.
Exactly. You know what? Their starting quarterback gets hurt. That's not his fault. Marvin Lewis has all his starters and still can't win a game, especially 3 he should have won. And he should have beaten the Cowboys, in fact.
He should have, but you know what? I think that Cincinnati's going to keep Marvin Lewis there till the end of the year at least. I think after the bye week, Wade Phillips is
See,
gone
I
and
don't
Jason
see
Garrett's
that
stepping
because
in.
they have Houston next. If the Bengals lose to Houston, it's over for him because they should not.
Marvin Lewis should have been gone 2 years ago.
They went from 8-8 to 7-9, and now they have no wins.
They won't get rid of
now
him,
they
and
have
they're
no
not
wins
going
at
to do
all.
it till the end of the year.
No, he's done. He's absolutely done. There's no way you can keep a coach that can't generate wins.
I'm not saying he's not going, but Wade Phillips is definitely going first.
No, the Cowboys have played much in the past years. He's done fine. So Marvin Lewis needs to step it up. For Tennessee, I'm going to have to say yes, they can go undefeated. I mean, after looking at their offense, they average 24 points a game, which is terrific, and their defense looks pretty solid. So I'm going to have to say yes.
They do have a soft schedule, but I don't see them pulling the Patriots and going undefeated this season. I think they got some very tough games later on.
Oh, I think, though, if Kerry Collins, because he's only going to get better week by week. I mean, yes, right now he hasn't played in a while. And now they put him in.
You can definitely tell that he hasn't played in a while.
Right, but with each week he's going to improve. You just throw him back in there.
He's got a 74.2 passer rating. That's not going to do it.
Okay, but again, he just got put in there. You got to give him time in order for him to get back into the system.
He's a backup for a reason. He's not going to.
You're right. He's a backup for a reason, but right now he's stepping up. Is he not?
He is.
If he's that terrible, if his pass rating is that bad, then they should have lost the pass.
It's their run game and their defense that's getting them through. But when they play teams like Pittsburgh, he's not going to be able to throw against Pittsburgh.
Okay, but Pittsburgh is injured right now. If those injuries carry through with Casey Hampton, McFadden, and Polamalu, he still has a good chance.
They're all going to be back because they're not playing Pittsburgh till late in the season.
You're right, but half of those injuries are 5 weeks or more. So he could be playing a team that's injured.
And you have more than 5 weeks left in the season.
They might actually win that game.
I don't see it happening. I think they're going to make it to the playoffs, but I don't think they're going to go very far. But they're definitely not going undefeated.
I think they could do it.
They're not going undefeated.
Kerry Collins, if he steps up and hits those receivers, he's got Algie Crumpler. He can do fine.
That's all we have this week. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Mike and Mark. Now let's take a look at the Rider Sports Recap.
Well, that's all we have for you this week. Make sure you tune in next week for another edition of RSC. I'm Patty Wittenberg.
And I'm Tom Malachi. Have a great week, Rider.